Most of the people who want to improve their public speaking skills focus so much on the techniques on how to speak effectively. But one area which does not get enough attention is the content, which in our case is the speech or the structure of the content. You can write a speech which just does the job. But how about writing a speech which is easy to follow, engaging, interesting, and memorable for your audience? That is what we are going to learn today. Are you ready? Let's get started. Welcome to Grow with Girija, where we learn about public speaking, communication, and life. This video is third in the series of 10 steps to your first speech. In the first step, we learn how to identify a speech topic. I'm sure you have one ready. In the second step, we prepared some material. And today, in the third step, we are going to learn how to write a speech. I want you to remember these four statements or questions. At the first glance, it might look like something which your spouse would say while complaining. But I want to tell you, if you remember and apply these, you will never write bad content. But what are these? Don't worry, I will explain. First, let me explain to you the process of a good speech. Question for you. Who should you have in mind when you want to say something through your speech? Your audience. Any speech is an offer to your audience. Before you can give details of your offer to your audience, you need to get their attention. Because you cannot force a mind, so you need to make them interested so that they are on your side. You got them interested and introduce the offer. Now it is time to fulfill the promise. Give them the details of the offer and how it is useful for them. Finally, summarize what you told and tell them what action they need to take. And here you have the template of the structure of a speech. Look at this. Introduction of the offer, which is opening of your speech. Make it interesting for your audience by using question, quote, story, anecdote, humor, or statistics or a fact. The next one is the details of the offer, which is the body of your speech. This is where you will have two or three ideas, points, facts, or scenes. And remember, this is where you will use what you had prepared in the step 2, the supporting material. And to close your speech, you will repeat what was offered, final remarks, and call to action. Be very deliberate about what you say in the final few sentences of your speech because that is what your audience is going to live with and will remember. And don't forget, the offer which we are talking about in the opening when it is being introduced, in the body when it is being explained, and the closing when it is being reiterated, it is directly related to the purpose of your speech. Remember, in the step 1 of identifying the speech topic, we had created a purpose of your speech, which is from the viewpoint of the audience. What will they get out of this speech? So make sure that every single line you write in your speech is supporting that purpose. If it does not, change it or remove it. And remember, the speech you came up with, this is not your final speech. This is just a draft. And now you are ready to refine it, to improve it till you feel satisfied. Now let me explain what those 4 statements and questions mean and why those are important. The first one is, don't take me for granted. Who is saying that? It is your audience. They are not telling this to you, but they are thinking about that in their head. So you need to make sure that the time they are going to spend listening to a speech, it is worthwhile. The second question, what are you giving me? This is again your audience thinking, what are they going to get in return for their time? Or say it simply, what is in it for me? This goes back to the purpose statement you had created while identifying the speech topic in the step 1. That should answer this question, what are you giving me? And for that, you need to make sure while writing your speech, you take care of that purpose. The third statement, keep your promise. In the beginning of the speech, we make an offer to the audience, but sometimes we forget to keep that promise of the offer because the speech starts talking about something else, or what is talked about doesn't support your original offer. Don't do that. Go back and make sure you deliver on that offer of what you promised. And finally, question 4, how are you making my life better? Isn't that a loaded question? Even if the audience did not ask that to you, you have a responsibility as a speaker to add value to your audience's life. You don't want to give a speech which people forget. You want to tell them something new, to give a new insight, to create an emotional impact so that they can feel better about themselves. And not just that, they can create a change in their own life and in the outside world. So, using these 4 statements and questions, and also the structure of your speech, which is opening, body, and closing, using the offer for your audience, you have everything you need to start writing a speech. Are you ready to start putting that work? Here it is. Your speech is ready. But isn't it the step 3? And we have total of 10 steps before we actually deliver the speech? How is that possible? What are we going to do in next 6 or 7 steps? Trust me, we are not ready because there is a difference between a good speech and a great speech. And that is what we are going to do to make this good written speech to be able to deliver as a great speech in next videos. I'll see you in the next video.